Hey folks, we have a question here. Do water jugs really tell us anything? On YouTube, you see people shoot all sorts of stuff. On Rumble as well. They shoot water jugs, they shoot wet pack, they shoot ballistic gel, ordnance gel, all sorts of stuff. But water jugs are cheap and easy to acquire. Do they tell us anything? Well, I can tell you, prior to the existence of YouTube, I shot a whole lot of water jugs. They do tell us something. We have a line of water jugs down there that we're going to be shooting today. And after we shoot them, we're going to talk about what water jugs tell us. So let's get set up and shoot these water jugs. Today we're going to be shooting these water jugs with a rifled slug. And we'll be using these Winchester Deer Seasons to shoot these water jugs. And my Remington 870 with a 20-inch rifle barrel. So let's set up, we'll shoot these water jugs, and then we'll talk about what water jugs can tell us hunters about bullets. Alright, so we're going to shoot this rifle slugs at these water jugs, and hopefully we catch this thing because we don't have a whole lot of water jugs. So here we go. And I'm going to have to be shooting in an awkward angle, an awkward way of holding this, so it's probably going to hurt a little bit, but that'll be alright. Here we go. All right, I believe we got a good hit. Well, that failed. It went out the side of the third jug. So let's try again. Hopefully we got enough jugs to actually get this done. That's one of the problems with water jugs. Sometimes you don't catch what you're after. All right, here we go. Let me get a little lower this time. All right, let's see if we caught it that time. All right, so we caught our prize. We caught it in the third jug. It just barely escaped the third jug the first time we shot it. But that really doesn't matter. What we're after as a hunter, when I used to shoot water jugs all the time, was I was looking for projectile failure. Water will make a projectile fail a whole lot easier than any other medium. It just pulls it, it overexpands it to failure. We don't want a projectile that comes all to pieces. A copper jacketed projectile, if it strips the copper off of it, we really don't want that. We don't want to be fishing that out of a critter. We don't want something that blows all to pieces and puts lead inside of a critter that we have to fish out when we're processing it. We want something that stays together, retains most of its weight. But today what we were looking for was the other thing a jug would tell us when you shoot it with a rifle projectile. It will show you rifling engagement. Can you see the rifling on the stabilizer from the slug? We can see that we have good rifling engagement on this projectile. We have good rifle engagement. We know we have a good, stable, straight flying projectile. And we can also look at the projectile itself. In this case, it was a rifle slug. Unlike a rifle projectile, which would be together, this is a two-part projectile. We see we retained a good amount of it. We can weigh it, and we will after this, and I'll put it in text how much this weighs, and it'll tell us how much of this projectile we lost into the water. Looking at the water, we didn't lose a whole lot. It stayed together nicely, which is surprising for a slug. Usually they come all to pieces because they're such soft lead. But anyway, those are some of the things that we can learn from shooting water jugs. We can see rifling engagement. tells us if we have a good engagement on a projectile, which will in turn tell us if we have a good stable flight on a projectile. We can see weight retention. The water will make a projectile, in this case it was a slug, but a rifle slug as well, handgun slug, it will make it fail. It will pull it apart. And we want a projectile for hunting that retains the vast majority of its weight. I don't want to be picking out a bunch of lead out of the critter size shoot. I want the projectile to stay together. So anyway, water jugs are a helpful tool to teach you something about your particular ammunition, especially if you're a hunter. So until next time, y'all stay safe in the deer woods, and God bless.
He blew his cap off. Got the lid right off of it. I see something in here. Let me see. Yeah, it's in there. Let's have it.
I don't even went in.
Got the wad. It stinks.
Alright.
Let's see.
That's alright. And that one stayed together and caught in the third jug. So it just barely went out that one. Here's what we got. Alright, let's go up to the dry camera and talk about it.